All right. Welcome as we are live. The Infinity War. Thanos. In case you didn't know, this is a live chat. In case you're watching this later. And this live chat is only for Screen Things. As we discuss Thanos. What's up, Ike 9 Mike 1? We're getting ready to talk about some plot points and things that are key here in the Infinity War. Things that may be in part 1 and part 2. Now, this is a good reason why people need to go back and watch Avengers 1 all over again, because it's going to start dropping key points and it really is going to link up with these last couple of films. Thor Ragnarok and not so much the Amazing Spider-Man, but Thor Ragnarok definitely. And let me see. And Doctor Strange. I would say those two the most. And actually Guardians of the Galaxy. See, in the comic book universe, Guardians of the Galaxy had more encounters with Thanos than anybody. You know, the Incredible Hulk. They're going to be getting ready for a rumored Planet Hulk movie. And Planet Hulk might come in between the Infinity War. Part 1 and 2. Now, I don't know if you guys have been reading or keeping up with what's been happening with the situations with Thanos and the characters with Tony Stark's, and that's why they're mixing and, you know, putting Robert Downey Jr. in these roles, because part of his new contract is the fact that he gets to not do another Iron Man movie. After Iron Man 3, his contract was up, so now he has limited time that he will spend for playing the Iron Man role, because they would have to pay him a substantial amount of money. So he gets paid for a certain amount of screen time. As you probably going to see or hasn't seen already in Spider-Man, his time was very short. Now, the Avengers movie is the contract that he actually has. They wanted him to finish these 2 films, and then he's going to put the Iron Man suit to rest. So this is it for a lot of people. You know, as Tony Stark, he might make an appearance, but as far as a full-length film, you might not see Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man again. Now, this will also launch the Black Panther series. Now, what you're not going to probably see in part 1 of the Infinity War is you're not going to see a lot of Black Panther. Black Panther is going to show up probably in the second film. This movie is going to start off with Tony and Captain America still at odds with one another and still distant. And that division is going to cause a lot of friction and a lot of people to get hurt and die, because they're basically separated. And fights are going to be happening at different times instead of all together, as it should end up being in the end, in the final conflict in part 2. Then everybody tries to attack Thanos and realize that that's the only hope they have in the world is they all have to team up to fight Thanos. Now, everyone looks at it and says, okay, well, what else that's going on? What's up, Panama J? Glad you're in here checking in. We're talking about right now Thanos and a couple of plot points for the Infinity War. Now, we know from the trailer in the Thor movie, Ragnarok, that Thor's hammer gets broken. Right? You remember Thor's hammer gets broken into pieces, and we see it from the trailer in the Ragnarok. This actually happened in the comics. So this is not really shocking to the comic book fan. They're glad to see it happen, but Thor hammer was broken into pieces in the comic, and it seems like it's going to happen here too. In Thor Ragnarok, that in the Civil War, thank you, Doctor Strange is going to have to team up with Tony Stark and actually bring Thor back. As you saw when Doctor Strange saw that Loki was on Earth. Hey, how you doing, Marshall? When Loki was on Earth, they immediately wanted to get Loki off of Earth immediately and get him back. And what also ended up happening is that Doctor Strange was going to have to, who can go through the universe, might be the one to bring back Tony Stark, I mean not Tony Stark, but the Incredible Hulk, and bring back Thor. And repair Thor's hammer. As Doctor Strange in the comic book was the only one that could repair Thor's hammer. So you will see Thor's hammer repaired in the Infinity War, not in Thor Ragnarok. Thor will have to fight that movie without his magical hammer once it's broken. I did a video about Kodak Black. I forgot all about it. I sure did. I'm totally sorry about that. But we're here talking about a much bigger picture. Much bigger fish to fry. We're talking Marvel movies. So, where were we? Thanos. And the rest of the characters. Now, Tony Stark is going to be so overwhelmed, he's going to need his buddies back, Hulk and Thor. Because he's not talking to Captain America. So, Iron Man, depending on Hulk and Thor, has to lean on his buddy, which is the mighty Doctor Strange. Dr. Stephen Strange. And then the Guardians of the Galaxy, who's now made Thanos their main concern and main target, knowing that he becomes a threat, they come to Earth, and one of the greatest conversations you're probably going to see is with Star-Lord and Iron Man have a conversation. It's totally hilarious. They say the dialogue is incredible. And Captain America ends up coming into the picture a little later. Hawkeye and All of these other characters have a lot of big surprising roles in there. But once again, Drax comes in very sparingly and has a big conversation piece. The first episode is not really action packed. The first Avengers plot is made to build up for an epic fight in the second movie. But the dialogue and the introduction of characters into each other is going to be very interesting. It's going to have people biting their nails. Can't wait for the sequel. Now, they will have an action fight scenes, and a few of them in there, when they actually will be fighting each other. Again, we've seen that already. But you'll see a little bit of fisticuffs and things go down when some characters, stubbornly enough, fight with other characters, but it just won't be long. It would be rather short until they all get the pictures. A lot of people are on a standstill as Captain has people on his side, like Black Panther, and a lot of them will be shown very sparingly in the first film as they set up for Tony and Captain America to come together in the second film. So towards the end of the first film, you'll see them try to, rekindle, that friendship and that bond and everything else, because they're going to need each other. And Star-Lord's going to get to Iron Man that, hey, you got to let your ego go. We got a much bigger thing to deal with here, because they've actually been across the galaxy. Tony hasn't. So he really doesn't know how big the universe is, because Tony Stark hasn't visited. But through his tech, everybody's wondering when they're going to see Iron Spidey. And you're going to see Iron Spidey in the second half of the Infinity Gauntlet, which is the Infinity War. Iron Spidey is something they're waiting for the main fight. Spider-Man will appear, but he's on a short leash, as he's not really part of this universe. He's loaned by Sony, so Sony will use him sparingly and mostly for his own films. But expect to see him in the second and epic conclusion to this whole universe, as they reset the wheel after this and go in a whole nother direction. Now, what's got everybody a little confused is Adam Warlock is very key, because he has one of the Infinity Stones with him, period. So how do you make an Infinity Gauntlet movie without Adam Warlock? He's very key in fighting Thanos, when it's clear that they're not going to show Adam Warlock until Guardians of the Galaxy Part 3, which is going to happen and supposed to be after the Infinity War. Well, he's not in it, but it's very confusing how they're going to do it. But James Gunn's going to make it pretty good, I believe. I'm going to trust the process. Y'all tell me what you think about it so far. Y'all could jump in at any time. This is a live chat. Don't have me talking all day. Oh, you'll get to see finally how ruthless Thanos is in Part 1. Part 1 is mostly the introduction of characters and the introduction of Thanos. Thanos will have a lot of moments where you will see him in action and see him retrieving the stones. Certain characters might not make it once he arrives to Earth, as in Vision. yes, Vision will die and eventually go back to being Jarvis as the stone is removed from Vision. But with Marvel, who knows what, with the actual movie, which direction they will go in. Because Adam Warlock has an Infinity Stone. So how they're going to not put him in the film when Thanos has to get the Infinity Stone from Adam Warlock? Okay, so it's already key here. Adam Warlock's not in it. Another important character is the Silver Surfer, who is not going to be allowed to be in here. Fox owns the rights to the Silver Surfer, and they're not letting anyone have the Silver Surfer, not even to borrow, which is tragic. The Silver Surfer is very important in this entire series. The Silver Surfer is one of the most powerful mutants or aliens in the universe. His power came exclusively from a Celestial. Once he has that board, which can't be destroyed. You can't destroy Silver Surfer's board. But he can go through the galaxy, skating through the universe with his board. And he's powerful, completely powerful. And he's very key into this whole Thanos rise and everything else. I don't know how they can write around him. As you see, all 6 stones. They showed Thanos retrieving all 6. People thought it was 5. Now, because of the rights, for some reason, with the comic books, they have to change the name of the title. Instead of the Infinity Gauntlet, it's the Infinity War. All of these stones have gotten different names. And let's look at the ones we've all been introduced to so far. We've seen this one, the Mind Gem. The one that, didn't mean to do that. That's the one that Doctor Strange has. That looks like the Eye of Aragamo. The green gem. That's the Tesseract, that gem. That's the Ether gem that they got, and that's the Power gem, which is we've seen in the other movies. Now, this big one in the middle, that's the one that Adam Warlock has. And I believe that's the Spirit gem. And with all of those gems together, and all of the stones, rather, that's it. He's the most powerful being in the universe. Which, I don't care how many people team up. You're not beating that. You're not beating that glove. Just one of those stones could destroy everything in the galaxy. Look at that gems. And the reason why they call infinity stones is because they cannot die. They cannot die out. They can't be destroyed. They can only be contained. I think this will be done very well. They're not going to screw up the Infinity War. So I just wanted to let you in on a little bit of plot secrets. You will see Iron Spidey. You will see Captain Marvel in this film. And I think this is going to branch off the Captain Marvel movie, actually. And we're going to start seeing some movement on that. And we'll talk about Black Panther and go into some of the plot points on that tomorrow. I just wanted to touch on this right quick and give you guys a quick update so y'all can see it. And hopefully you like this review and play it back. It's Carcino, I'm out. Thanks for watching the Screen Fiends and supporting it. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the notification button so you can be informed when we talk movies. Peace.